Yeah.
Here you go. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, or afternoon, or wherever it is. Hello, happy, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in, whenever you're listening, anywhere in the world. I'm so happy to say that we have people all over the world joining us in all the time zones, on all the continents. It's so wonderful to see that happening. We are the bright points of light all around the world, connecting through our hearts with love and beaming. We are being the beacon, beaming that light out to our families, to our communities, to our region, to our continent. It's us. We are it. We are the beacons of light. We are the angels on call. We are the earth angels. We are the vessels for the seraphim. Haven't we been through some really remarkable experiences together? Whew. So you're ready for the next one? So you've seen Jana Marie off and on. You've seen her both sharing as a participant, but you've also seen her helping with some interviews and helping with at the very beginning, and she'll be helping at the very end. Jana Marie has been one of my two right arms in this. Reverend Maria Jade Piano is the other one, but here's Jana Marie. She has been here with us the whole time. And today we get to know her. We get to know the incredible woman she is and the depth of her background. So I haven't been reading too many of the bios, but this is another one that I want to read. Often I just kind of talk us through. So, Reverend Jana Marie Toutolmin, Two Tall Men, Two Tall Men, is a vibrant, rare, powerful woman who serves on a global scale for women to align with their convictions, their truth, and their heart. And boy, is that true. I've known her for quite a while and I have witnessed her in action. In 2016, on Mount Shasta, she had the honor of I had the honor of ordaining her as an interfaith minister when she graduated from the angel ministry. And oh my God, that was such a remarkable experience to be up on Mount Shasta. And if you look at our theangelministry.com page, you will see a picture of Jana Marie up there getting ordained, and she's holding a sunflower. And I'm in the picture with her. With I think we're with one other minister, but I think it's the three of us there holding the sunflower, and you can see Mount Shasta in the background, and you can just feel the energy emanating from this picture. That's why I put it up on the Angel Ministry website because it was such an incredible experience. So Jana Marie is an author, new thought leader, founder of the Crystal Clear coaching program, which we'll talk about. And I'm very happy to say that she serves on the board of our Gateway University, which is the parent of the Angel Ministry. In our organization, I'll just say just a couple of words about this. Gateway Community is a 501c3 nonprofit religious spiritual organization that directs Gateway University, that houses the angel ministry, which allows us to do actual, real, legal interfaith minister ordinations. So you are a real minister, real interfaith minister. So Jana Marie's unique, revolutionary, crystal clear technique integrates science, technology, and spirituality to safely guide her clients to understanding valuable insights about how your mind, emotions, and body work together. After 4 decades in higher education mentoring uh, um, MD and PhD trainees, she developed a passion for epigenetics. She has integrated these skills, her higher frequency connection, and the unexpected calling from the seraphim angels to propel her on a mission to help her clients discover, remember, align, and live in the strength and truth of your core convictions, moving out of your head and into your heart. Jana Marie believes our world needs the commitment, wisdom, and passion of women now more than ever. Women of integrity who are resourceful, respectful, creative, and supportive of other women and of, of all humanity. So, welcome, Reverend Jana Marie. I'm just so delighted to have this chance to connect with you this way.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you, Kimberly. Wow, that's quite an introduction, but it did cover everything.
Doesn't it sound good to hear that about yourself?
it's a little, it's weird, really. I just do what I do and have always just done what I do. But when you hear it from someone else objectively, it lands, like, oh wow, I'm worthy. I mean, who
Mm.
isn't walking around not feeling worthy? It's like something we always are working at, am I worthy enough of this or that? Yeah,
You
it sounds great.
you
I'm
are
stepping in. I'm stepping in
you are
or
worthy.
out.
You are accomplished, right? You're coming out. We're coming out.
I'm coming out.
That has been a huge part of the summit. In many summits, the promoters like me or the people who put it together, the hosts, try to get the biggest profile names they can to build their network, to build their list. That's one of the behind the scenes secrets about summits. They're lovely. They're giving you some nice benefit, but they're also for the benefit of the people behind it to build their community, to build their list. I'm giving you secrets here. But we didn't do that this time. The one of the objectives of this summit is to bring forward our amazing angel ministers who often kind of they just want to be in the background. They don't want anybody to know they're there. They don't want to be noticed. And they oh here I got to get my feather out. I, oh here's
Yeah, I
my
have my
hold
feather.
on. My feather. Got to have my feather out. My angel ministry feather. Yeah, there we go. They are our angel ministers and me, we tend to like to kind of hide in the background a bit and not come out so much. So this has been really fun. Jana Marie got to do her first ever interview as the host.
Yes.
And she was this your first ever like panel conversation with us on day one?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah,
it was. And Linda Heimerman, Reverend Linda's here. She's
yeah.
one of the interviews that I did.
Linda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And is this the first time you're getting interviewed as a guest? Or have you
It
been guest
is.
before?
It
See,
is.
firsts, first. We're
Mm-hmm.
having a lot of firsts here. And you wouldn't know it, would you? She's just so cool. The reason I'm saying this is because part of this is to invite you to be courageous, to see what your next step is, whatever that might be, but to be courageous, to take a breath, to be courageous and take that next step on your spiritual path, on your awakening, on your coming out into the light as an earth angel, as a being of light. And whatever that next step is, it's sacred, it's beautiful, it's holy. And that's a little bit about what we're talking about here with the crystal clear clarity. So, Jana Marie, how did you find the angel ministry?
Well, I didn't find it. I think it found me. That's how it works. I always knew I had angels in my life. My grandmother always told us we had angels. And they saved my life a few times. I mean, there's lots of incidents along the way where I knew they were there. And I would talk to them and I would ask for things like a parking place because it's easy and I'm not asking too much, right? Just like nothing too big, just a parking place on Columbus Street in San Francisco. But I always got it. It was always there for this big, long Cadillac I was driving, which is impossible to park there. So I knew they were there and I knew they were taking care of me. But I think I only, how people say you call on God when you're desperate and then you call it the universe when you're thanking it, or like you when you're desperate you pray differently, right? So let's see, where am I going with uh small things? So I would ask for small things, and then I started to ask for bigger, a little bit bigger things. So I started feeling like maybe I could get this, or maybe I could have that, or maybe they'll bring me this or that. And so it all started to unfold. But I was at an I Could Do conference, which Louise Hay held every single year, and I went forever, in San Jose. And this lovely woman, Kimberly, walks by in the park. I'm sitting on a bench, and she walks up and says, "Can I sit with you and for lunch?" Yes. So we talked for like an hour. She never tells me what she does. I don't know what we talked about, the weather, the conference, who we liked best. And on the way back to the conference, she says, "Would you mind? I want to show you these angel cards that I made. It took me 10 years to get the copyrights on the pictures and put them together, and the angels guided me to make them. I'd like to show them to you. So we go to her car. She shows me these cards. And, as you, well, those of us who know, they're just stunning. I mean, here's the back. And then there's, all of the angels. And so I'm taking a look at these cards and it's like magic in my hands. I mean, I could feel the vibration. And then she hands me, I say, let me have your card so I can order these cards. And she hands me her card and it says Angel Ministry Program. And everything in me, like I was plugged into a light socket, like, oh my God, this is it. Now I have literally a box full of certifications, whether it's aura readings, Akashic records, on and on and on. I've NLP, I've done so many certificate programs searching for the right thing, and nothing had the deep spiritual component that I was looking for. And apparently the angels weren't letting me fall in love with any of those other things because the time wasn't right. So I know that now. And I knew. And so I said to her, the minute I retire, like the day I retire, I will call you and I will sign up and I'm joining this program. I know this is it. This is exactly where I belong. And so the rest is history. And she actually sent me the application right away, and I filled it out like a year in advance and sent it to her. And so she's like, you're accepted whenever you're ready. And then I started the program. So that's when I met Reverend Nancy and Reverend Marcia and Reverend Linda, who were all here. We were all ordained together and went through the entire program together without Zoom, I might add. We only had, what is it called?
It was called
Teleconferencing?
Instant Teleseminar. So
Yeah.
we could hear each other. We called in, so we could hear each other on the phone.
Right, but we never saw each other until the ordination. So we trained together for, I don't know, a year and a half or something, and then we all met at Mount Shasta for ordination. So we've
And we'd
been
have to say something so I know who you are.
right.
Talk so I can recognize your voice.
It was amazing. And even to this day, I call them my Seraphim sisters, and we talk every Tuesday at 4 o'clock. We have a little support network for each other, and we've, supported each other through everything that's happened since 2016 when we were ordained. So I retired and I joined the program, and I met these lovely Reverend Seraphim sister ladies, and I answered the call. So finally, I answered the call. Now, the angels had been nudging and nudging and nudging me along, and I wasn't listening. So one of the biggest lessons I learned in life is when they tell me something, do it, because it's like your intuition. So I was raised saying, trust your gut, trust your intuition. But I didn't know that there was this alignment of connection from trusting my gut and my intuition straight to the creator and the universe and this spiritual connection. So that's all been connected now in a deep, profound way. So when I connected with my guardian angel, I did a meditation, and who comes in but Zachariel, and Zachariel is the angel of the word that was tattooed on my head when God sent me down here: surrender, surrender. At one point in my life with my mom, I reached a point where I was trying to surrender. Like, how do you surrender? And I went to Kimberly and asked for her help there. This was about 13 years ago. My mom fell and broke her neck and came to live in our home with us. We had to move her from Colorado. So my sister packed her up and my husband brought all her stuff out. And at the same time, my husband got laid off from his work and our income was cut in half. Everything went to hell. I had to file bankruptcy. And then in a span of like 9 months, 8 of my family, sorry, 8 of my family and friends, really close friends, died unexpectedly. So it was a really, really hard time. And just for my angels to make it even more fun and challenging for me to like get off my ass and get with it, was this new director came in to my program. And I'd been working at the university for 37 years at the time. And he came in and he was so offensive and had such a lack of integrity and didn't care about the students or me, or I mean, it was just awful. And I had to go. I knew I had to walk out. And it was a big decision because I was too young to retire. And I was afraid of money, of course, so afraid I wouldn't have enough money, because we didn't have enough money as it was. because of what happened with my husband. So I made this big decision and I walked out. And I found the courage through doing that to stand in the truth of my convictions. And that was how I jumped over that fence and walked out, was what is the truth? Will I be treated this way? Will I be talked to this way? And I'm worthy of more. And, like light bulb, I'm worthy of being treated better. And then I stood in it. I didn't take it anymore. And so I left. So then, a couple of years later, things are getting a little bit better. And Zachariel shows up again. Like, I mean, I know he's like here whispering all the time, but I'm not communicating all the time with him. We went to Mexico, and for all my life, I've been going there since I was like 18. I went to buy a condo there. And our financial advisor said, you can't do it because you don't have any padding. It's really not a good idea. But I wanted it so bad. I could taste it. It was so beautiful on the ocean. And my husband says, I don't think it's a good idea either. And I'm like, well, I'll ask my angels. This will solve it because I know I can trust them. So here's the deal. For 29, the contract was 90 days. We could back out in 30 days. For 29 days in a row, 29 days in a row, out of 44 cards, okay, every day I pick surrender. Zachariel, the surrender card. 29 days in a row. Unbelievable. So he's there. He was there every day going, no, you can't buy that condo. No, you can't buy that condo. So I finally surrendered. I did it. And we didn't buy the condo. So that's a little bit about how it all got started and how I met Kimberly.
So how did your life change after you were ordained? What happened then?
I'll tell you what happened then. I felt safe. I felt safe for the first time, I think, in my life. More worthy, still working on that at, levels, but really safe. I felt safe in the world. Like I knew I wasn't alone because, being a control freak, you have to control everything around you. And the reason for that is because you're hyper alert. And the reason you're hyper alert is from something that happened along the way. So if I'm not hyper alert, something bad will happen. So I have to stay that way and stay in control of everything around me. And I discovered that, which, I didn't know. Who knew? Well, apparently people who knew me knew, but I didn't know. So that was an interesting discovery. But I felt safe. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. The alignment and the connection put me in a zone where I knew I was in a bubble of safety and that my angels were always with me, always protecting me. They'd saved my life several times, and I knew it was them. I had to just, kind of go like this, come in, because I was all out here, and to come in. And that's what the angel ministry did for me, is it brought me into that place so I could go into stillness, which I probably never had, ever. I was able to find it, with your direction and your teachings.
And how did that develop into your crystal clear technique?
Yeah. So after I left work, Reverend Linda turned me on to this little device called the Healy. And it's a brand new, well, not brand new, it's a few years old here in America. I think it's been in America 2 years. A guy in Germany created this. It's a little biofeedback device. And you can set it to read, yeah, there's the Healy, to read the frequency of anybody, anywhere in the world. And so, first of all, let's just talk about frequency for a minute. What is a frequency and how does it work? Well, everything is a frequency. Nikola Tesla was the first man to discover like this high frequency power and how rotating magnetic fields work. So he came up with this discovery, and he said, back in, I don't know, whatever year it was, like a long, long time ago, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think about energy, vibration, and frequency. That's what everything is about. So, then people developed the radio, and, a lot of other things came after that. But he also said, that when science begins to study this phenomena of non-physical things, they will discover more in like 1 decade than they have in all of existence. And he was so right. And when I came across, I mean, I knew about him and I'd studied him. And when this frequency thing came out with the healing, I got one immediately. And then I bought a second one so I could use it on other people and my husband and myself and my mother. So, you know, the Healy's running all the time. But what it does is it has a program in it, and I can't even explain it. It's so profound, but I can put you, like a profile of you, into my healing, and I can set it to send a vibration and a frequency to you, to whatever part of you needs that frequency. So it could be your liver, your hand, your skin, your eyes, your hair, your knee, your foot, your kidney, your heart, your valves, your blood system, your nervous system, your adrenal system. It connects to all of that. And it does it all by frequency. So frequency is like the rate at which the current changes direction, how many times. So if it goes around, let's just say a wave of current goes 5 times in 1 second, it would be called 5 hertz. And hertz is an international unit of measurement. And so if Monette, if you would put up the David Hawkins map of consciousness, which I discovered many years ago, I don't know, when I was like 20, I discovered this, and I found it fascinating that there was a frequency. One thing I didn't mention is that my father was an electrician by trade. So who knew that one day I'd be over here talking about electricity. So as you can see, at the bottom, where there's, I think, shame is at the bottom. Oops.
This is a little tricky, so Monette's doing a great job here.
Yeah,
So
she's having to pull it out of
yeah,
an email.
out of an email. Yeah. So one more time, Monette. That the email. Yep. Yeah, you're doing great, Monette. This is tricky.
There it is. Perfect. Perfect. So as you can see at the bottom, look at shame. So shame is an energetic frequency of 20. And enlightenment at the top is anywhere from 700 to 1,000. So your body and everything in your body is running at a frequency somewhere on this chart. So what he did was so beautiful is he put the level and then he put the frequency. And he did all lots and lots of studies to come up with this, the associated emotional state. So I found this to be really interesting in my personal growth and personal development, is to see, where am I and what's my problem, right? So oops, it went away again.
Yeah.
Wonder why it keeps popping off. Not allowed to stay up. Wants me to move on. Am I not going fast enough? And there it is again. So you get the idea, if all of you had a chance to look at it a few times. And you can pull this up on the internet. All you have to do is put in Google, Hawkins map of consciousness, and you'll see all different charts. This is my favorite of all the ones they show, because it shows us the view of life. And so when I was in grief and everything was so bad, down like at 75, right? The associated state is regret. So I had to think about, what regret am I sitting in? Do I have any regrets? And how tragic life can be. But I also don't want to sit there for the rest of my life. I have to move up and get up to joy again, because I'm really a joyful person. I walk around in love and joy all the time. I'm a happy person. I see the good in everybody. I'm non-judgmental, and I try to always stay up there at joy, at least love and joy, and reason, when I have to. So you can see how these frequencies work, and that's what I wanted to show you. So Monette, if you can show the second chart. So the next graph is going to be the one that one of our affiliates from Oak Ridge University, he put together. He took the Hawkins chart and he put it into a fan shape, and without as much information in it. And in the angel ministry, we use this to douse with. And so you can take your anything really. I mean, sometimes I use my earbuds if I have to, but I can use a crystal. I could use any kind of anything that will move in a circle or go back and forth. So as you can see, you print this out and you lay it down in front of you and you hold your crystal over it and ask, what frequency am I running right now? So you have a chance to do your own self-development and check in with your own intuition and see where you are. Where are you on the frequency scale? And where do you want to be? If you want to go higher, what do you do to get yourself to a higher level? How do you raise your frequency? So one of the things I do is work in the work I do is teach my clients how to stay at the higher frequency and how to quickly ascend up to that. And there's so many other things in the angel ministry. There's an ascension chart, and there is 3 ascension attitudes that the seraphim angels have, and that is surrender, acceptance, and love. And once I put those 3 things into place, it solves pretty much everything. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Manette. You can take that
So
down.
Larissa was curious if how is that connected to the chakras?
How is it connected to the chakras?
She
Well,
was
your
wondering about the
chakras,
colors. The colors. Yeah.
uh, I don't know. I don't know why he put those colors. I never met, well, actually, I did see David Hawkins live once, but I didn't ask him about the colors. So I don't know. There must be some relationship though, because, you know, he was so involved in all this. He must have known people who did chakra work. And maybe those colors start with the root and move up into the 7 categories. I will look that up, Larissa, and see. Now I want to know too. So thank you for asking. It's a really good question. So now you're looking at frequencies, and you can see that everything has a frequency. So with this biofeedback, I realized that epigenetics, if you don't know what that is, it's the study of how your behaviors and your environment change how your genes work in your body. So how do you get to the bottom of that? Like, what behavior do I have that's making me sick? That is what I can help you with. And that's the Healy gives me a program about your frequencies and where things are stuck, what emotion they're attached to, what spiritual path it's connected to, whether it's this life or a previous life even. I mean, there's a lot of information that comes with that. So what I decided to do was combine the fact that the angels talk to me and the Healy. So I have this report from the Healy about you, and then I can check in with the angels and confirm, what do you need? So this is science and technology that I have in this report in my hand. And so I have this, I discuss it with the client, and we go over like, oh yes, oh yeah, I forgot about that, or I didn't want to think about that, or I keep shoving that aside. And then we check in with your angels and ask them, what do I do next? What do I do about this? What's my next step to take? So when I put that together, I realized there's nobody doing this. I mean, you know, I think I better hurry up and do it, because I can combine spirituality, science, technology, self-development, and going back to when I left work, standing in your truth, in your convictions. And so the book I'm writing is about my convictions and how I got to them, and then how I had to change them because all of a sudden one wasn't working. So, you know, at some point in your life, you believe something so strongly and adamantly, and then 10 years later, you're like, phew, was I wrong? I really got to change that up. And so you learn as you're going, excuse me, along the way. And the nice thing about this work is you can reverse any of these frequencies that are not running properly in your system. You can heal yourself. I mean, Jesus ran around healing people. The whole point is of him being a master is teaching us that we can heal our own selves, but we have to learn how to do it. And not everybody knows how to do it. So that's the joy I have every day when I get to work with someone. And that, by the way, we're reversing environment and behaviors, but it doesn't in any way change your DNA. And people seem to have a big concern that if they're working with me in this and the Healy and the science technology part of this, that I'm going to mess with your DNA. It does not change your DNA. What we change is the behaviors and how your genes are responding to your emotions and your thoughts, because your thoughts create every single thing in your life. Whatever you have, you thought it. So that's why people go around with affirmations and on and putting post-it notes everywhere. I mean, I've done it. I put them everywhere until I have it as a new mantra. And yeah, change your life, change your thoughts.
Our science has discovered that genes can be turned on and turned off.
Mm-hmm,
And that's the study of epigenetics because we want to turn off genes that aren't supportive, and we want to turn on genes that are supportive.
mm-hmm,
And so through the Healy, through helping our body remember what a healthy frequency feels like, through affirmations, through different kinds of work we can do with the angels and with different kinds of coaching and counseling that you do, we can help to turn off the genes that are troublesome and turn on the genes that are empowering. And that's a really beautiful thing. I've experienced that in my own self. So you have some clients. I bet you have a client who has really benefited and you have a great story to tell.
yeah, I do. So, of all the ones I have, I think the one that's the most profound was my first, because it was my first.
Mhm.
I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that the angels talked to me. And a woman, maybe she was 35, 40. I mean, I don't know people's age anymore, but she sat down in front of me in a chair. And my job was to to answer her question, whatever her question was. And so I got ready. I grounded myself, tried to clear my head and all my thoughts. And she asked me this question: how did Marianne die? So of course I freaked out. I was like, oh, like, I don't know how Marianne died. I don't even know who Marianne is. And so inside I was just like, freaking out. Um,
But you're
and
breathing, you're looking
uh,
calm on the exterior.
right. Oh yeah, she didn't know any of that. And so, I gathered myself, inside and had to remove my thoughts, right? Like clear my thoughts out of the way. Where I call in Archangel Jophiel, who is really good at moving aside what I need to so that I can be a clearer channel. So I cleared the way, focused again, and asked her to ask me the question again. And she did. And it came like this. I saw um, a little girl running with the, what do you call them, the reins to a horse. She's running and she has the reins in her hand and her horse is trolloping beside her. And they're running out in this sort of a field where there's like rocks and grass and flowers and wildflowers and trees somewhere. And she fell and she hit her head on a rock. And she said, I mean, what I saw that, like a video of that. And then what I heard was, please tell my mommy, I'm so sorry. I was running too fast. I was running and I hit my head. I'm so sorry, mommy. I'm so sorry. So I start, like tears start coming out of my eyes. I realize now this is her daughter. And the woman in front of me, I'm holding her hands, and she said, of course she was. And then she starts to laugh. And she's laughing. Now, this one was grieving. She was so sad and so grieving. Her energy was like zero when I met her. And she started laughing because I said, I don't understand. You're like crying, you're laughing, I'm crying. What's happening? Tell me what's happening for you. And she said, that was my daughter. And she's one of twins. Her sister found her out in the field when she died. And we thought that the horse had thrown her and killed her. And that was our favorite family horse. And we got rid of the horse because we thought that's what happened. And we've been suffering for the last 3 years, grieving over the loss of our daughter. But now I know the truth. Ooh, I just got the chills again. So in that moment, I realized the power of what I've been given to have that moment with her to change her life like so drastically. So, that just her broken heart was healed. I mean, what more beautiful transformation can you see in front of your own eyes? It was so beautiful. So that's when I knew there's more to this than meets the eye. uh, and so, getting the angel ministry program just kept, it got higher and higher and higher. I mean, this level. And so the more I did it, the clearer it got. And then all of a sudden, dead people were showing up in my readings with people, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm not a medium. Like, I haven't trained to be a medium. I don't have that's one certificate I don't have, is I don't have a medium certificate. But they were coming in, and so once you're an open channel, I guess they'll come in when they want to. And so that started happening
I
organically.
want to fix that. It's not, they don't come in when they want to, they come in when they're invited. And there's a real difference here. We don't work at the psychic realm. I don't teach you to work at the psychic realm, and this is really important. I teach you to work at the soul realm. And at the soul realm, everything is very polite and it's by invitation. And so at the soul realm, you're getting the soul aspect, you're getting the very best of that energy. As opposed to sometimes at the psychic realm, you can get some less than that.
Unwanted.
Unwanted, you can get unwanted energy.
Mhm.
So the way you learn to connect at the soul realm where there's only love, there's only truth. And that's why you have such beautiful experiences. So you have, Jana Marie, you have some interesting angel superpowers. And one of those angel superpowers is omniscience. You just know stuff. And one of
I
your challenges has been learning when to
right.
button it up and when it's appropriate to speak. Do you want to tell us a
Right.
little bit about that?
No. Yeah, when to button it up. Well, let's see. Um, the hardest thing for me is that I know stuff, and I had to learn how to censor who I tell what I know to, because people become afraid and people don't want to hear the truth. I mean, let's face it, like, nobody really wants to hear the truth. If you're on a path of spiritual enlightenment or personal development, you'll show up with some courage and say, all right, tell me the truth. I mean, that's what I did anyway. All right, tell me, and I'll listen, and then I'll get back to you later, right? Because we just don't want to hear it. Um, I know, I do. I just know. And how do I know? I don't know. I just know. It's really hard for
I'll
me.
tell you how you know. It's your seraphim aspect, and you are literally tapping into omniscience. It's a beautiful gift.
Well, it's a gift and a burden, as I say.
Well, you're learning to manage it well.
I am. Yeah, I have to be really careful, because I want to tell everybody exactly what they should be doing, how they should be doing it, what would be better for them. And my husband's like, even in a store, I'm telling them how to run their store better. And my husband's like, why are you always telling people how they can do things better? It's like, okay, all right. Well, because they could, that's why. So it's been a real challenge for me to do this. So I've learned now in a very important thing, which is, yes, I'm meant to talk. However, at least equal to talking, maybe even more importantly, is to listen. Because really, people only really want to be listened to and acknowledged. And that I know to be true.
That's
Everyone needs acknowledgement for every feeling, every thought, every misery, every challenge they're having. They're not necessarily calling me for me to fix it. They just want somebody to listen so they can get it up and out. And so I have to always gauge, are they asking for help, or, like, don't give advice if it's not asked for. Um, but yeah, everybody needs to be listened to. And so in the neurolinguistic programming, which I took for almost 2 years, I did every course that this guy had, Dr. McDonald. What I learned was there was a 2-week class in just listening. So every day we had to listen to somebody, tell us something, and then tell it back to them. Oh, you have to be paying attention. That was really, really something. And it was a beautiful class. Really, I've learned a lot in that. Yeah. So thank you for asking. Yeah, that was a
That's
big
one of your
challenge.
other angel superpowers is the ability to hear, beyond listening, the ability to hear. And hearing includes other senses beyond just hearing the words. Hearing includes being able to feel their energy and recognize their emotional state, to tune into their thought patterns, and to feel their energy body. And so
Hmm.
you're able to do all of that in your receiving. You're receiving the essence of your clients in a way that's really beautiful. And from that, you're able to help them.
Yeah, it is. It's so beautiful. It just fills my heart with joy when I see somebody feel better in any way, just to feel better. Little, big, gigantic, it's all the same. It just fills my heart with joy.
So we have two more things left to go today. One
Okay.
is you're going to take us through a forgiveness exercise. One of your best practices for self-care is this
Yes.
beautiful forgiveness exercise. We
Yes.
actually three things. We have a silver platter meditation that I just love. You shared with me at a time when I needed it, and I put it in one of my books because it was so great. And the third thing is at the very end, we're going to do a wheel of name spin. And our lucky winner, I get so excited. Our lucky winner is going to get to have a 10-minute private session with you while the rest of us hang out and chat. But before we go there, this has been such an incredible conversation we're having. I want to open up to questions. So if you have questions, please either raise your hand or put them in the chat. And the way to do either one of those, if you don't know, is you wiggle your cursor or your finger on the screen until that menu bar pops up on the bottom. And you will see chat. You can click on chat to open the chat room. Or you can hover over reactions, and if the happy face, smiley face, they're kind of over to the right side. And if you click on that smiley face, you can raise your hand. Raise hand. So we would love to take some questions. So please either enter in the chat or raise your hand. Or, we're not such a big group. You can also just unmute and talk.
Yeah, like me. Pop, 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 pop.
Oh, Eugenia. Hey, unmute yourself, please, Eugenia.
Hi, hello everybody, and hello.
Hi.
Hello.
It was so beautiful to listen to you. It was very interesting. I just, when you have been saying that you use Angel Jophiel for to help to focus, I was
Hmm.
just asking myself, wow, I never used that way because for me that's creative power, but actually you are right. And then when you have been talking that you use the frequency measurement, how
Hmm.
do you combine them, those two tools, the angels and the frequency meter?
Hmm. So
It was,
yeah,
thank you.
it's not a combination of the two. It's more of an integration. So you can see what the frequency is, and then check in with the angels to see how to raise the frequency. So what is the next step I need to take to raise my frequency? So it might be quit your job, or leave him, or don't go out with that guy again, or that situation you're in real estate is not going to work out. You need to back out now. I mean, those are the kinds of things the angels will bring through, is exactly clearly what your next step is. And if you follow
Thank
what
you,
they tell you, everything will work. So it's an integration, not a combination.
thank you so much. And then,
Yeah.
as you have been one of the first ministers with Reverend Kimberly, how it changed the work with angels. If they changed some aspects of them, if they because we develop, I guess, personal relationship with the angels. Thank you.
Uh, so you want to know how? I'm not sure I understand the question. You want to know how I connect with them?
No, how it
No.
changed? Because so when you started, you have been one of the first ministers, as I understood, like 20 years ago or something, or 10 years ago. But and then when you daily work with the same angels, how it developed the connection with the
Oh.
angels during the work during the years.
Okay, I'll tell you how is these cards, these angel blessing cards, which you can get on Kimberly's website. These cards are so profoundly deep. And so in the angel ministry training, at some point every day, you're going to pick an angel, and then you read the text that is channeled through from each angel that comes in the book. So you read what's in here. So Metatron is, I'm like a fragment of Metatron from, way thousands of billions of years ago. And he represents thought. And he came up this morning. I mean, he's my guy who protects me all the time. He came to me a long time ago. This morning I said, okay, you better come in here and help me and get me calm and make sure I can do this and speak properly and do what I need to do and make the magic that needs to create. And then I pick a card and here he is, Metatron. So that's how it works. It's exactly what you're saying is that the change happens over developing the relationship with them. So your answer is really in the question. It happens over time. And he shows up, when he's supposed to, but I pick a card every morning. I mean, that's the first thing I do. Well, not the first thing. First, I'm grateful for, my pillow, my sheets, my bed. I woke up, I'm happy. What are you going to show me today? I ask my angels, show me what you want me to see. And then make sure I'm not distracted while you're trying to show me. Because, something sparkly goes by and I see it and I get distracted. So I ask them to make sure I'm not distracted every day. And then I wait and I just stay open to allow it to come in. So even if I'm really busy and running around, I still always now have a new way of having some kind of neutrality, that holds me in my place of spirit. And if I start getting something's happening, I just call on my angels. I go, I need you. Like, wrap your wings around me and keep me safe here. I know you're here. So the change from beginning to now is actually developing those relationships. So you get to know every single angel as you're studying in the program. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And some of these like have never come up for me at all. I mean, this was 2015 or 16. No, it was 15, I guess, when I was in the program. So I don't know I don't do math well. I don't know how long ago that is, but during that period of time, I developed a relationship with many of them, and some super strong because those are my angels. And others I haven't ever picked out of the deck. So, the right angels and the right frequency will come to you because it's just a frequency connection. Yeah. So the work I do is the frequency of the angels and the frequency of this biofeedback device. So I feel like I'm bringing heaven to earth. I mean, I'm like a vessel to bring heaven to earth and help others to learn how to heal themselves. I mean, that's what I really want. You could do what I do. Like all of you here could do what I do. If you put yourself, like that's the first thing you want to do, and then and you're passionate and you want to do it, you can do exactly what I do. Or I can help you, which I'm happy to do.
Thank you so much for answering. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gina.
One thing that I'll point out now, if I can, is Monette, would you put up the Marooni's Angels for everyone to see? This is something, there's so many things I'd love to share with you, but this one is the one that blew my mind when I joined the angel ministry. So if you can see that clearly, it's not, I had to take this picture out of the book, but as you can see at the bottom, see where the humans are at the bottom? So this is the hierarchy of all the angels. And when I saw this, it was a little mind-blowing. I was like, who are all these angels? I mean, I know I have mine and I have a guardian angel, but I did not know that there were all these others. So you can see how the guardian angels, the nature divas is, all the nature around you. And then the guardian angels stay the closest to earth and the closest to us because they're always just a whisper away over your shoulder. And then you move up and you can see all of these levels of hierarchy of angels. And so I learned all about all these different levels. So there's all of that also, Eugenia, all the way up to the top.
When I was writing the material for the Angel Ministry program, I was trying to understand all the different systems that people talk about in the angels. And Judith Larkin Reno, my mentor and the founder of Gateway University, has a God ladder. And so I got the idea from the God ladder to make this chart of angels to kind of see how do they all fit together? How do all these different perspectives of angels fit together? Because depending upon how we grow up, what our cultural or our religious upbringing is, we might see them differently, or our personal experience. So we've got humans at the bottom, we've got God at the top. And over on the far left side, that's the traditional Catholic Dionysius celestial hierarchy with the seraphim at the top and the cherubim, the thrones, dominions, virtues, powers, principalities, archangels, and angels. And then down the middle, Judith Larkin Reno was blessed to meet Flower Newhouse in the 1960s. And Flower Newhouse was a very talented nature clairvoyant, among other things. She founded a center in Southern California called Quest Haven that was also a nature retreat. And she saw nature spirits quite readily. She taught Judith Larkin Reno, who taught me how to see nature spirits. And the way Flower perceived angels, there were the angels of nature, angels of birth and death, healing angels, builders of form, angels of, does that say inspiration? Inspiration, song angels. I love it where she put the song angels way up at the top. And then love angels, right under God is the love angels, that's the seraphim. And then another order I found was the one from Cian de Rowan, which just shocked the heck out of me and changed my whole perspective about everything in life. It helped me to start to see the beliefs that I had. And Cian de Rowan channeled this series of books from God that was just stunning, and saying that the great archangels were born first out of a passionate ecstasy that God kind of birthed out, these great archangel beings. And then there was another passionate eruption of the lesser archangels, and then there were heart angels created, and manifesting angels, and inner angels, mother's angels, seraphim, cherubim, golden light angels. And so part of my interesting challenge through the years has been to try and understand how all these different experiences that humans have can actually fit together. And this ladder was one of my ways of trying to understand that for myself. And it's so powerful, isn't it, Jana Marie?
Oh, blew my mind. Yeah, when they say that there are millions and millions of angels out there helping you, it's hard to imagine, when you're just sitting in your house and you're thinking, all right, really? Okay, I might have an angel and there might be, these 44 angels in this deck card. But when I saw that and realized that it's just the cosmic universe and spirit is so huge. It's so huge you couldn't possibly even study it all and know it all in a lifetime, I don't think. I mean, all of it just blew my mind. And so it's one of the things that I just thought was so fascinating, that we need to know that there are so many angels out there sitting there waiting for you, just waiting for you to ask for help. They only have one rule from God, and that is they can't mess with your free will. So if you don't ask for help, they don't help you. The only one thing they can do is save your life if it's not your time. That's the only time they can intervene. So the rest of the time, they're just standing there with their arms crossed and their feet tapping, waiting for you to ask for help. So I encourage you and invite you to ask for help all day, every day, no matter how big or small. Ask for help. They will come and they will help you. They just need a little bit of a invitation from you to do so, and they will be there for you.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Larissa has a question. Hey, Larissa.
Hi, Larissa.
Manette, if you could take the picture, take down the screen share.
Thank you. Hello, Jana Marie.
Hi, sweetie.
So, how do you, I guess I'm accustomed to we address each other by name, and you're saying that we have all these angels, but how do you learn how to communicate with the one, or do you just like speak broadly to them and just call them in? Or, I don't want to be rude and say, hey, help me, right? I know,
Hey.
thank you, right? I mean,
I understand what you mean.
what is the
So,
best approach?
yeah. So, well, one of the things that I've been gifted with is to, hear them and help you meet them. So one of the first things I was doing when I started doing this work was what I called meet and greet. And so I would do an angel healing session with somebody and ask them, do you want a body scan to see if you have anything wrong in your body? Because your angels will tell you. This woman one time, I didn't know her at all. And I did the body scan on her and they stopped at her ankle. And she started crying when I told her the only thing wrong in your body, there's no blockages or anything, but your right ankle, after right or left ankle, is in horrible shape. And they want you to call your doctor today, not tomorrow, today, about that ankle. And they mean it. And they're like adamant. I'm getting the chills again. They were adamant about this. And so I told her, and she starts crying. I'm going to have to invest in Kleenex. I think I should invest in Kleenex. She started bawling. And then when she got done, hyperventilating, she said, I was supposed to have surgery on that ankle 3 years ago. And I haven't done it because I'm afraid I won't be able to walk after they do the surgery. So that fear of, making up a story that she wouldn't be able to walk after she had the surgery is what was holding her back. But there it was. So she went and she had the surgery and she's walking just fine. But she needed permission, from above. And so, how did I connect? I just connect by your name. So I'll have you say your name like 3 times because there's a frequency to your name. And then I say, calling all of the angels for Larissa, come in now. And then I wait and see who comes in. But there's meet and greet. So if you want that, then say, who's here? Who wants to meet and greet today? And they give you a name. Like they don't have names and they're not even like people, they're beings of light, right?
Okay.
They know that as humans, we need something to identify with. They know what our needs are. And so they'll give me a name and then they'll show me what they look like so that you have a vision so that they, when you, like Reverend Linda has this warrior guy named Ben. And Ben is like huge and he's there to protect her all the time. So I can introduce you to whoever's present and comes in at that point. So you can literally ask anything. I mean, people ask me, was I adopted? I mean, anyone asking, the answer is yes. I mean, it's always been a yes, and it changes their life, So, so that's how you get the a name and a vision is you connect. So you could do it too. I mean, if you were in a meditation,
right,
and you want to say, who's my guardian angel? I mean, are you there? There's many meditations that, people have, or, you do come next door to my house to see your brother. So you could just come over here in the yard and we can find out for you. Let's make it easy.
Yes. Bring my coffee.
Bring your coffee. Yeah, but that's how there's meet and greet. There's, medical and that also came in without me knowing it too, is doing a body scan. They just told me to do one on somebody and now I do it if that's what they want. Yeah.
So how do you open yourself up to like receiving these gifts and being able to do this? I mean, it just, you kind of just put it out there to the universe and you say, or you change your frequency to be able to hear?
I'm always running at a high frequency, but before I start anything, it's very sacred. I say a prayer beforehand that everything that you hear and that I'm able to share with you and bring through to you is for your highest good and those around you. So that's one thing I always make sure I say. And I call in Archangel Michael because he's the protector with his sword and his shield, right? So I have him set a protective mode around this. Like I've done a session for you in my yard and I've set up Michael. So you notice that like trucks don't go by, the garbage truck isn't beeping, nobody's screaming or talking because Michael's holding a sacred space for us, and it's a busy corner, but it's always quiet when I work with you. Yeah, because he holds that space. See, so I call him in to do that, and then I call in Jophiel to keep all of my woohoo out of the way, and so I can be a clear channel. So that's how I do it. Yeah, it is a very high frequency. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Love you,
Larissa.
Mom. Thank
Good
you.
questions.
Love
good
you too,
questions.
honey.
So now you're going to take us on this forgiveness exercise, please.
I am. So it's not long, it's short, and it's fantastic, and it's profound, and I highly recommend that you do it anytime you need to think about anybody you need to forgive, or anything you ever need to forgive. And let's just start like charity starts at home, to forgive yourself. In my process over the years, I forgave everybody for everything. And the one thing I had not done was forgive myself for all the wrongs I thought I'd done. I wasn't good enough this, I did that wrong, I did that wrong. So it was huge for me to learn how to forgive myself. And this did it. This was so short and sweet, because, you know, when you get into these long things, I'm like, oh my God, I don't have time for that. You know, I want something that is effective, succinct, and quick. And when you're busy, that's what you need. So this really worked for me, and I want to share it with all of you. When I found out after the minister training, there's things I discovered. My friend Andy, who I've known since grammar school, she told me, you know, you're a human doing. You're not even a human being. And I was so offended, because she was right, the truth. She told me the truth. She always tells the truth, but she told me that truth, and I knew it was right. And I hated her for telling me, but I had to get over it and realize she's right. So that's one thing that really, you know, woke me up. I lived in my head. I wasn't living in my heart. I couldn't get down here because this was shut down. I was a control freak. I didn't know that. I didn't trust anybody. I double check and triple check all facts on everything, because I don't trust anyone. And I needed to forgive and get on with it. I really needed to get on with it. And, you know, as the thing that's so sad is that we wait until we're so desperate and we're so miserable and we're so at the bottom of the thing before we'll take action. I guess it's just our human nature, and it's our path to have to learn all those different levels of ascending up to a higher frequency. But when I found the 3 ascension attitudes from the Seraphim, oh, my heart was singing, because it's surrender, acceptance, love. So surrender being my word, and then learning to just accept what is. It's just, my sister says, it is what it is. And she says that over and over and over again, because it's just true. It is what it is. You can't spend your life, you know, in misery over whatever it is. And you have to move right into love and get to your heart and get out of your head. So this forgiveness, I don't know if you call it a prayer or a mantra, but what I'd like to do is read it and have in your mind, have my voice be your voice to you. So I'll speak in the first person, you know, I, so that as you're repeating it and hearing it, you're saying it for yourself. And really close your eyes right now. If you just close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. The breathing I do is a 4 count. So breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 little breaths, and then hold and fill your belly with the air for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then breathe out slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, in small spurts of air. And what that does is calm your entire adrenal system. It tells everything in your body, relax, be still, go inside, listen to self. And this will be like your soul speaking to yourself, straight to your heart. So here's the forgiveness decree, I call it. So repeat after me in your own mind. I'll go nice and slow so you can really take it in. Here we go. I forgive everyone who has ever hurt or harmed me, consciously or unconsciously, in this lifetime or any other, in this universe, dimension, plane, or level of existence, or any other. I offer them grace. I ask forgiveness for everything I've ever done to hurt or harm another, consciously or unconsciously, in this lifetime or any other, in this universe, dimension, plane, or level of existence, or any other. I ask for grace. I forgive myself for everything I've ever done to hurt or harm another, consciously or unconsciously, in this lifetime or any other, in this universe, dimension, plane, or level of existence, or any other. I accept grace. I am free. All chains and restrictions fall from me. I stand in my full power. And now wait for the magic to happen. You can open your eyes when you're ready to come back. Does anybody want to share how that felt?
Oh, that was
Oh,
so
see,
powerful. That was so powerful.
yeah, you see how it includes everything? It's, it's the three things. I offer them grace. I ask for grace for myself, and then you accept the grace, which is the key, the frosting on the cake of grace.
Susan, please unmute yourself.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jana Marie, for a lovely presentation. And I really enjoyed first of all, how you said, let my voice be your voice. That was, I think, a very key part of your meditation. And then
good.
going into it, the amount of flow that was made available through the angels that you work with, and the source energies are so pure, and I could feel that loving support of that opening to release things that we carry, that we forget about from the distance past through our evolution.
Right.
And the places that we go, under circumstances that if we'd been more resourceful, we would have, behaved or acted differently, would have given people more grace or given ourselves more grace. And yes, I totally agree. The self-forgiveness is such a big component of that. And, the source doesn't hold anything against us. It's our own selves that hold things against us.
Right.
And so I'm very grateful for the offering and the loving energies and your presentation. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. My heart to yours.
Oh, thank you, Susan. Thank you. Any other questions or sharing? Okay. Last chance? Okay, so Manette, it's time for the spin for our lucky winner. So tell us, Jana Marie, what do they get?
Oh, what do you get? Well, I'll be Carol Merrill, if anybody knows who Carol Merrill is. Right here behind door number 1, we have a 10-minute session with me to ask anything you want to ask from your angels, and I will tune in and bring through the answer for you.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. So we're getting up the wheel of names spin.
The spin to win.
Spin to win. Oh, there we go. Spin it, girl, spin it.
Woo! I love this thing. Everybody loves to win something.
Nancy! We have a winner. It's
Nancy!
Nancy! Oh, fabulous. Nancy! Okay, so hey, Nancy, congratulations. So Manette is going to put Nancy and Jana Marie into a private breakout session so Nancy can actually have a private session, private reading. I see you, Nancy. I see that big smile.
Do you know Nancy and I have the same birthday?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, how funny. What coincidence.
Together again.
Oh, so while they're off in that breakout room, the rest of us get to stay here and chat. You can ask questions or share your experience or even talk to someone else. So, Manette's getting that ready. It takes a minute or two to set up the breakout room. And so, see you in a minute. Oh, hey everyone, it's just us now. So, who has a question or wants to share something about your experience?
I can share.
Linda.
Yeah, I was going to wait for the questions to be done, but I was anxious to share. I hope Jana Marie hears this later, but I have had a session with Jana Marie and, well, a few, and they're just profound and so detailed. When she named her business or her title as Crystal Clarity, it's like it couldn't be more perfect. Because she went, there was a time I was separating from my husband, and it was something I had to do, and I was going to look for a place to move, and I didn't even know where to start. But my youngest daughter moved to this small town. I thought, well, I'll start there because she has the newborn babies I'd like to be close to. And well, I started looking there, and I contacted Jana Marie for a session. And she said, for some reason, well, first Big Ben came and said, not to worry, you're always protected by a huge, huge, huge angel called Ben. And, but she said, they're showing me a red box. She says, I have no idea what that is or what that could mean. Just a red square, like a box. I'm like, okay. She said, it could be a red building. It could be a red mailbox, anything. She says, they're just showing me a red box. Look for a red box when you're looking for a place. So, okay, I don't know what that means either. So I did. And I did look at this one apartment complex, and I was kind of pressured to sign a lease because there's somebody else looking. I thought, oh, I'm just going to do it because I need to do it. And so I signed it, and I left in my car, and I went around the parking lot just to kind of get a sense of the area. And I looked up at every entryway, and above the doorway, the entry, they had the apartment numbers in a red box. in a red, like what do you call it? Well, it was red. And with white lettering, and it's like, oh my gosh, thank you for the message. And I couldn't wait to tell Jana Marie then, you'll never guess, I know what the red box is. she was blown away too. She's just as in awestruck and in disbelief sometimes as anyone else, but she's just blown away from what the accuracy that these angels communicate to her. And it's just been a joy. There's other situations too where just putting a little sticky note, a little message, and put it on my window. Talk to, let the angels know that, put it up on your window and let them know. And I did, and it came true. So she's just marvelous. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Linda. I loved hearing that story.
Yes.
I remember that period of time in your life, and I'm so glad that Jen
Yes.
was able to help you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really happy to be able to contact Jana Marie and get some guidance, because it was phenomenal. It was it gave me direction.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you for letting me share.
Oh, thank you. Eugenia has her hand up. Hey, Eugenia. What now?
I think I am the most active participant
I
of
love
this,
that. I actually love that.
but I'm waiting always if someone else doesn't have nothing to share. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
taking it. But what for me was very remarkable that I felt a really deep connection. Well, I have my own signs when I am in very, very like deep connection with my higher self, and this was Jana Marie was sharing. So I felt the vibration was very high, despite how it what she was saying, and like example, this also for forgiveness meditation was very short, and you couldn't towards the way it was said. It was not particularly. You couldn't say if you write down, it will be simple, but the impact of it and the vibration, it connects really deeply and it works. It's very it shows another way to connect with our higher self without any a lot of beautiful words, and so it's different.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Eugenia. Yeah, that's a beautiful observation. That was my experience too. Thank you so much. Yeah. Who else would like to share something or ask a question? You can either just unmute and talk, or you can raise your hand, or you can type into the chat. So many ways.
Hi, just curious if anybody's had an experience with the Healy. I mean, I tried it with Jana Marie, and but just wanted to hear if anybody else has tried. Oh, you have one.
I have one. I have one. So the way this worked for me is I fell and I hurt myself.
Okay.
And I have a naturopathic doctor who had just discovered these, and she said, "Well, let me send you a session." And I said, "Sure, yeah, fine, okay." She said, "I'm going to send it at 9 o'clock at night, so make sure you're lying on your back in your bed and that you're prepared to receive it." So that night, I'm lying on my back in my bed at 9 o'clock, and this most incredible experience of bliss filled me.
Wow.
It's the only time it ever happened like that. But that particular, no, it happened twice. This incredible experience of bliss filled me, and the transmission was an hour. I was in this state of bliss for actually 2 days that followed. That was so incredible. And I don't know what she sent me, because there's a bunch of different programs, and she didn't remember. When I asked her later, she didn't remember. But after that, I said, okay, I need one of those, and they're a little pricey.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's why I haven't invested in it. Which model do you have? Which one is that one?
I have just one below. I don't have the coaching program, so I have everything but the coaching program. So I have the blue dot and the pink dot, if that means anything to you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I know.
so the blue dot is diagnostic, where you can run a diagnostic, like she was talking about, and it
Okay.
will tell you where your energy field is the weakest. And in the pink dot, you can pick specific things, like you can say headache, or pain, or kidneys. Like I think there's 2 or 3 programs for kidneys, or bones. So there's like 200 programs altogether. So there's a lot of different programs you can pick for that. There's
Yeah.
ones for mental clarity and focus. There's a program for well-being. There's some Ayurvedic programs. There's homeopathic programs. There's vitamin programs. There's nutritional programs. There's all these different programs. So you can just pick the one that works for you. And what really got me curious is how does it find me?
Right, right.
When I'm holding it, I get that, but how did that happen where you can transmit? And it's funny, because I put in, when I'm transmitting to somebody else, I put in your name, your birthday, your picture, and your address, and it finds you. It finds your frequency from that, which is just, I don't understand that, but I get it.
Yeah.
And so the people that I've sent it to, they said that they've felt it too. It's I like it.
Okay.
For
Wow.
me, it's
Okay.
been worth the money.
Okay.
I can testify too, because I'm the
You
one,
got one.
I'm actually the one that introduced it to Jana Marie.
Okay.
And because I worked on her husband, Raymond,
Oh, Raymond. Okay. Yeah.
and she said, please, can you help me? And I'll give you permission. I said, well, I need his permission. So she got his permission. He's all for energy work anyway.
Right. Right.
So yeah, she got his permission. I put his information in, like Kimberly said,
Yeah.
his name, address, and where they were born. And in a picture, Jana Marie just sent me like a side view of a picture of him, and just for his energy in there
Right.
to program. And I told her too, I would send it at a certain time. And she said the next day it was like a miracle happened. And he actually felt the frequency too. I don't. I mean, you don't have to feel anything, and I don't, unless it's
I
on.
feel it. Yeah, I feel it.
There's different ways you can get a direct frequency wearing bands or sticky tabs. So it's direct onto your skin, or the blue dot, which we use for long distance, is for long distance. It
Okay.
goes
That's
to
a
its
transmission.
targeted area.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was phenomenal that, Jana Marie too was blown away. It's like, I can't believe the change in him. I want one. I want two.
Yeah. She got
So-
two. I know.
So one,
And
one,
yeah,
go ahead.
and I've experienced a lot of good things too, from headaches, simple headaches, to just calming, the nervous system, circulation, and different things that I need it for. You can actually buy extra programs for it too, for specific reasons. I had a stroke, so I work on my brain,
Okay.
brain balance and tissues. I actually went to the doctor just last month. They said, with a blood test, they said I was low on sodium. My sodium was low.
Oh.
I thought, well, that's a first. Well, so they said that I had to come back that was a Friday. I had to come back Monday to see if it was up. And they told me what to do, whatever, drink more water. And well, I ate almost a half a bag of chips and
That'll do it.
and water.
Yay!
But that night with the sodium, I thought, well, I'll run my Healy too. So I put in there, oh, what did I put? Schuster salts.
Yeah.
Schuster salts is a category that you can click on in the Healy. And for some reason, I was directed to do Schuster salts. And the first 5 categories come up on each one you click. The first one was sodium. How did it know my body needed sodium? So I'm sold. So
Okay.
my blood work was normal on Monday. So
Wow. Amazing. Very cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
fabulous.
Right.
So there, yes, Naoki, Naoko.
How much is it? How much is the device?
Does anybody distribute?
I think it's
I
do.
1,500 or 1,500.
I do.
Okay,
Well,
so
it depends on what model you get. You can get them from 500 to 2,500 or whatever, but the
Right.
resonance that has the pink and the blue dot long distance is around 14 or 1,500.
I bought Linda and I have the resonance one. It's the most expensive one, but that's because we can do distance healing with it. So most people aren't, I mean, a lot of practitioners are using it with their clients, but if you want it just for yourself to have at home, and you're not going to worry about distance healing other people, one in your home, you can put it on yourself for an hour, and then you put it on your kids. I mean, like whatever it is, you can all share one. You don't need to buy more than one, and you don't have to buy the $2,500 model. You can buy the
Yeah,
$500 model.
device is all the same. So you can get the 500 one and it's the program they put in it for you. So you can always just buy the 500 one, use it's the pink dot and use that. And if you want more, then you can get an upgrade and they just change the programming in your device.
It's all a frequency. They send it through the waves and upgrade your Healy.
They're having a special right now. I
Yeah.
saw an email.
Yeah,
that says
I have I gave Larissa, you have the link, right?
Yes, I
make
do.
sure,
I'm confused by which one to buy, but now that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, so I can start with the lowest level one because I was like, I'm not ready to do a $2,500 investment, but I was listening while you were in your chat session, hearing some of the testimonials of your folks here.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It is. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, just to have for yourself at home, for yourself and your son, and when your daughter comes home from college on the weekend, just slap it on her for an hour.
Maybe I need to get the one that I can send her some juju, right?
That's really valuable.
Well, the thing about sending juju, well, you are her mother, you can juju her all you want. But one of the things as a practitioner that we can't do, I mean, it's a rule, is you never get into anyone else's space unless you have their permission. So I never give a healing without asking, even though you may call me up and say, you know, I want this, I would still ask you, do you want a healing? So I have permission from your soul and your system, like in that moment, so that you're open to actually have it. So a lot of times people will say, can you just tell my brother, you know, blah, 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 you know, to stop with the stuff about that, you know, no, I really can't. And so what I will do is I'll check, I'll say, what's his name? So then I say his name 3 times and I ask his spirit, you know, are you willing to, you know, listen or hear, are you open for this? And if I hear no, I mean, no is always very clear. It's like, no, and you know it. Right. If the person's open, what I can share with this person is, you know, he's more open than you think he is. So you might want to give it a shot. But that's about, you know, all I could do at that point. But a no is a no. We don't get into anyone's space without their permission ever. Yeah, that's just wrong. Just wrong.
Get up in their business. I get you.
Right.
Nancy, how was that experience with Jana Marie?
Oh, wonderful. Yes. Yeah, she's helping me with more clarity on connecting with my vibration and how to balance my chakras with the crystal. And so I'm going to try that, each one of them, and then always asking questions to ask. And I can even use my crystal, you know, to test for that. And should I or shouldn't I, and so forth. So it was extremely helpful. I'm so grateful, Jana Marie.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that comes up is going back to Eugenia's question before about, you know, how that happens. This crystal I bought like 20 years ago, it has a 4 cut inside of it. And I just love it. And I've worn it every day for at least 25 years. But I have a magnet thing on the end that the jeweler put on there, so I can take it on and off. But I was telling Nancy how I developed a deeper connection with my angels was by talking to them all the time. And so, you know, not only just the card in the morning of who I speak to all day, but also asking my angels for everything, because my angels were bored to death up there because I never asked for anything. So when I finally started to connect, they were so happy and they were dancing. And I found that I can hold my crystal over my hand like this, and I can use it as a yes, no. So I say to my crystal, the first time you use anything, I use earbuds if I don't have anything that'll, you know, go around, right? But I just ask, should I buy this purse? And see, there's a no, right? So then I can say, is it for my highest good to not buy that purse? And that's a yes, because it's going around in a circle. So a circle is yes, and back and forth is no. And I use this, I was telling Nancy, to use it for everything. I mean, should I tell my son how I feel about him today? Should I tell my child this today? Should I do this tomorrow? Should I go to work today? Should I buy this car? Should I date this guy? Should I break up with this guy? I mean, you know, should I wear my hair this way or that way? I mean, I literally ask everything with this crystal, and I pull it out in the store. I pull it out even for food in the grocery store. Like, should I buy, is it for our highest good for me to buy this for our dinner tonight? I mean, I just do it all the time. And that's what's developed this, I think, the crystal clear, like I talk about crystal clear, the crystal clear connection I have is because I trust them so implicitly with not just a parking place, but I've expanded to literally everything in my life. I ask them and they bring me the answer, and I trust them. So there's that, trifecta thing that has to happen, right?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
We've gone kind of long here. So,
Sorry.
Jana Marie, all good, Jana Marie. Do you have a final message or a final blessing for us?
Oh gosh, where's my I don't know if I have it here. Where's my book? I had this beautiful thing that the Seraphim that I've been reading over and over. Here is my little book. I don't have it right here. Let me just
Okay.
say, let me
Okay.
just
From
say
your heart.
this.
From your heart.
Yes, from my heart to your heart. Oh, I want to refer again and remind you again about the forgiveness decree. And if you'd like a copy of that to post on your refrigerator and repeat every time you need to until you've forgiven yourself for everything and forgiven everybody for everything, I'd be happy to send you one. You can email me at crystalcleartechnique@gmail.com and I'll send it to you. And what I want you to remember is that you are always really safe and your angels are always with you. Not only the seraphim, we are the fragments of the seraphim, but all your angels are with you all the time and you are safe. Keep your frequency high. Stay as high as you can on the chart. And remember the ascension attitudes of the angels: surrender, acceptance, and love. Those three things, when you can tune into them as a regular practice that just becomes who you are, you'll never be freaking out your adrenal system anymore. You'll just immediately go to surrender, acceptance, and love, and realize you're safe. Everything will be well. From my heart to yours, I'm so happy to see you all here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Beautiful.
you. Oh, so I'm going to stop the recording.
Thank you, Jana Marie.
Thank you.